All right, so before I get into any of the strategies, one of the first things that you need to make sure that you do is sell products that people are actually searching for. The most common mistake that a lot of new eBay sellers make is that they don't do the right product research to make sure that customers are going onto eBay, typing in the keyword for that product before they start selling it themselves. If you get this step wrong, then there's no point even trying to do any of the strategies to increase your views because no one's even searching for the item anyway. So to give you an example of an item that a lot of new eBay sellers think customers are searching for when in reality they're not really searching for on eBay anyway, is dog water bottle. So I'm using Terapeak, which is eBay's product research tool. And if we scroll down here, first things first, we can see that only £230,000 was spent on dog water bottles in the last year on eBay UK, which is not a lot of money at all. And all this money had to be split up amongst these 2,000 different sellers. So automatically we can see that dog water bottles isn't really a big market on eBay. Now, if we scroll down over here, it's going to be able to show us how many units are being purchased every single day. And last year we can see that there was around 100 units. Some days it went down to around 47 units, 55, even as low as 30 units some days. In 2022, you know, it's not that great. It's around 100 units, which still isn't really a lot. Some days it's around 87 units. However, if I show you an example of an item that is being searched a lot and a lot of money is being spent on it, which is dog beds. So I've just jumped onto Terapeak again, typed in dog bed, and straight away we can see that over £7 million was spent on dog beds in the last year. Scrolling down to this graph over here, we can see that last year there was around 1,000 units. Some days as high as 1,900 units. In 2022, there's around 2,000 units, 2,500 units that are being purchased every single day. And the reason why I'm showing you this is because you want to make sure that whatever item you've currently got listed on your store, customers are actually searching for that item before you start spending your time trying to increase the views. All right, so once you've gone through that process, you've done the product research and you're sure that customers are going onto eBay to search for the items that you've got listed, the next thing you now need to do is understand the psychology of how a customer thinks from the moment they go onto eBay. And not only that, you need to understand how eBay works. So when I say that you need to understand how eBay works, you first need to understand that eBay is a search engine. Not only that, you need to understand that the higher that you rise in the eBay search results, the more views that you're going to get on your listing, which is ultimately going to lead to more sales. And when I say that you need to understand the psychology of how an eBay customer thinks, you need to understand what they do from the moment they land on eBay. So I've just gone onto eBay, typed in Bluetooth keyboard, and there's two main things that most customers will do from this point. The first thing that a lot of customers will do is that they'll just buy the first one that shows up in the search results, especially if it's the one that they want. And that's why it's very important for you to make sure that you watch this whole video so that you know exactly what you can do to rise higher in the search results. But there's a second thing that a lot of customers will do, which is that most customers tend to go to this section right here, which is the filter section, and they'll change this from best match to lowest price. And a lot of customers will tend to just buy the lowest, cheapest option that's available for them. And the reason why this is important for you to know as an eBay seller is because the more sales that you're able to make, even if the item is priced lower than what you want, the more eBay is going to push you higher and higher in the search results. Because the way that the eBay algorithm works is that when it sees that you was able to make a sale, when a customer saw your listing in the search results, clicked into it, read through the description and placed an order, they're going to reward you by pushing you higher and higher in the search results every single time that you make a sale. Which means that now that you know this fact, you're going to be able to target the customers that are going onto eBay and changing this to the lowest price. And whenever you make a sale and you're slowly rising higher in the search results, you're going to be able to increase your price by $1 and then another $2, $3, etc., until you meet the price point that you're happy with, the price point that you need to sell your item at for you to make the profit that you want. So you might have to take a loss initially. This is what I do anyway when I first list a product on one of my eBay stores. I'm willing to take a loss maybe in the first week, first couple weeks of me selling it, because I know that this is what I need to do for me to show up higher and higher in the eBay search results so that ultimately I can land on the first page at the top of the search results and I'm going to be able to make sales and get more views that way. So moving on to one of the next thing that every single eBay seller needs to be aware of, whether you're a small one, whether you're a big one, is making sure that you do the right things when you actually list your item in the first place. So I'm going to quickly run through some of the most important things that you guys need to know if you are selling on eBay at the moment. So starting off with the title, you need to make sure that you're packing your title with as many keywords as possible. And not just any keyword, you need to make sure that you're doing the right keyword research to make sure that the keywords that you're using are the ones that are being searched for. And not only are they being searched for a lot, but they're also the keywords that are driving the most sales. And the way that I like to do my keyword research is by using Zeek Analytics. So I've just logged into my Zeek Analytics account and I'm going to go to this section over here where it says title builder. Once you're on this page, all you need to do is type in the item that you're selling. So let's stick with the Bluetooth keyboard for now. The next thing that you need to do is make sure that the location is the one that you're selling in. So for now, I'm going to leave it to the UK. Make sure that you select the right date range. So for now, we're going to leave it to the last 30 days. And we're going to leave the marketplace to eBay, and then we're going to click on search. So scrolling down over here, Zeek Analytics is able to show us the long tail keyword ideas that we should be using. And they've organized it between the average searches, competition, as well as how many sales it was able to generate. So it goes about saying that the number one keyword that we should be using is the actual name or the common name of the item, which is Bluetooth keyboard. And that was able to get the most searches as well as the most sales. But the next one after that is wireless Bluetooth keyboard. So wireless is a word that we should be using in our title, as well as words like slim wireless, or even keywords like keyboard for iMac. If the keyboard that we're selling is also compatible with iMac, this is also a keyword that's been searched for a lot and also has driven a lot of sales as well. And if we have a look over here, Zeek Analytics is able to show us the generic keyword ideas, and all of these different keywords, we need to make sure that we're putting the top ones in our title as well. By making sure that you do something like this, it's only going to improve your chances of being seen by customers, which is ultimately going to increase the amount of views and sales that you're getting. So going back to the listing, the next thing that you want to do is make sure that you're using as many pictures as possible. As you can see, eBay allows up to 12 images, and for me personally, whenever I'm listing an item on eBay, I like to make sure that I'm maxing this out. I like to upload 12 images because this is going to tell eBay that I'm giving the customer as many images as possible, which is going to help them make a better buying decision. So you want to make sure that you're doing the exact same thing if you want to give yourself the best chance of making more sales. The next thing that you want to make sure that you're doing is using as many keywords in the item specifics, as well as making sure that you're selecting as much information as possible. Again, this section here is going to tell eBay exactly what your product is, so they're going to be able to show it to the right customers. If you end up putting the wrong information in this section here, even if you do get views on your listing, it may be shown to the wrong customers, which is not going to lead to sales. So you want to make sure that you're as accurate with your information as possible when it comes to selecting information in the item specifics. And most importantly, when it comes to your item description, again, this is where keywords are going to be very important. Now, for me personally, I like to make sure that I'm using a custom listing template because this is going to look a little bit more professional when it comes to customers visiting my listing and for them to most likely buy the item, because it's going to make it seem like they're buying from a professional company. So 50% of my attention goes into making sure that it's a well-designed listing, and the other 50% goes into doing eBay SEO. So again, this is where I'll come back onto something like Zeek Analytics, look at the keywords that I should be using, and make sure that I'm packing out my item description with as many keywords as possible. So one of the next ways that a lot of eBay millionaires stand out amongst all of their competition is by using eBay advertising. So a lot of new sellers don't even realize that this is a thing, but you can actually pay eBay a certain fee for them to show you to more customers and to push you higher in the search results. So I'm going to quickly run through various different types of eBay ads that you can use just so that you have a full understanding. So the first one that you can use is something called eBay promoted listings. And the way that you can tell if a seller is using that is by looking at this section here where it says sponsored. So essentially this seller hasn't organically grown to the top of the search results. They've essentially paid for them to be the #1 seller for this keyword. Now this isn't necessarily a bad thing because of course you're going to benefit from the amount of people that are going to see your listing. And the more people see your listing, the more likely you're going to be able to make a sale. And remember what I said last time about eBay seeing you make more sales, they're going to push you higher in the search results organically. So even if you're using paid ads for you to do so, it doesn't necessarily matter. So you can use paid ads temporarily just for you to be higher in the search results, make sales, and then eventually you can turn the paid ads off. Another form of eBay ads that you can use is something called multi-buy. So as you can see right here, this seller is using the multi-buy campaign for this listing, and the customer is going to be able to see that they're going to save 20% off if they buy multiple different items at one time. So let me just click into the listing and show you exactly how it works. So right there, the customer will be able to see that if they buy one, they're going to be able to pay $24.99 for it, which is the original price. However, if the customer buys two, they're going to be able to save 50p of each unit. And again, if the customer buys three, they're going to save even more money. And if the customer buys four, they're going to be able to bring the total price of each one down by £5 for each different one. So using something like this is definitely going to incentivize more and more customers to buy the item, and plus it's going to also incentivize eBay to show your listing to more customers, because the more sales that you're able to make, the more money eBay is going to make from the final value fee. So by using something like the multi-buy campaign, eBay is more likely to show your listing to more and more customers. And there's a few other types of eBay ads that you can use. I'm not going to go through them in today's video because this video is going to end up being 1 hour long, but I've actually updated Project eBay, which is my step-by-step guide with a full breakdown of everything you need to know about how to set up your eBay ads, how to optimize them in the best way for you to get the most sales. So if you want to get a full understanding of everything you need to know about how to use eBay ads, you can go to www.projectebay.com, or you can visit the first link in the description down below. So those are the main things that you need to be aware of if you want to rise higher in the eBay search results and ultimately get more sales. If you're enjoying the video so far, don't forget to press the like button, don't forget to subscribe as well, and hit the bell notification so that YouTube can let you know when a new video has been released. And if you want to watch another YouTube video that I made not too long ago where I break down the basic things that you need to know when it comes to starting an eBay store from scratch, I'm going to leave that video right there. You can check that one out straight after watching this video too. Alright guys, I'll see you on the next one. Make sure you stay safe out there. Peace.